I'm Sophia and today I'm here to talk about some sapphic, sci-fi and fantasy recommendations. Hi, this is me from the future and I wanted to make a note that this video was filmed before the murder of George Floyd and the riots that are happening in the United States and in Brazil where I live. I am going to link petitions and the GoFundMe for George Floyd's family, so you can donate if you can and sign all those petitions. They don't take any time. Use your voice. It is not enough to be not racist, you have to be anti-racist, you have to be actively against the system for it to actually mean something. We as white people need to use our voice, use our privilege, fight for the cause. All cops are bastards, and just wanted to make that clear. Also, I wanted to add that none of these books I'm going to talk about, I think only one, has a person of color as the main character, and it's not even a black person, and that's my fault. I read mostly popular fantasy books, and since I've been talking about sapphic fantasy book, I haven't read any sapphic fantasy books with black protagonists. That's something I'm going to actively work to change, and I'm going to be doing a video later this month, in like a week or so, about sci-fi and fantasy books with black people as protagonists. And to make sure that that's my fault, this video is very white, but we'll be working to read more books by and about black people, and I'm going to be doing a video of SFF recommendations by and about black people. I was trying to come up with some SFF books to recommend you for Pride Month, and I picked all of them, and I even did the intro of the video until I realized these are all sapphic, so I'm changing the title of the video. These are some books that I really love. I have separated them into 3 categories. One is sci-fi, one is high fantasy, and the other is horror. SFF horror with elements of fantasy and elements of sci-fi. And yeah, let's get right into it. First off, I'm gonna start with a sci-fi horror book, which is Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. I read this last year and it instantly became one of my favorite books. Instantly. Mira Grant is Sean McGuire, the woman who wrote the Wayward Children series and Middle Game, and she's just a fantastic writer. She has like a science brain, so she incorporates science into her books amazingly, and that's what she did here. This is about killer mermaids and a bunch of people on a research ship in the middle of the ocean, and weird shit's happening. This is very science focused, very biology and oceanography focused, so if that's not your thing, this might not be for you. But there are a lot of main characters. One of the main characters has like a budding romance with I think it's a reporter, I don't remember much, and they're both women. There's also F characters, and there's more rep. I just don't really remember it, but I loved this book. It was so thrilling, you know, even though it's horror, not a thriller. It was just, I couldn't stop reading, but it is science heavy, and I loved it because of that, but you might not. Anyways, I love this book a lot. I've read it in July? No, I read it in May, I think, last year. Haven't stopped thinking about it. Another horror sci-fi I'm going to recommend you is The Luminous Dead by Caitlin Starling. So, this book, I have to say, I don't get spooked by horror shit. I didn't get spooked by Into the Drowning Deep. I don't get spooked by horror movies. I just really enjoy my time reading them. I think, ooh, that's creepy, but deliciously creepy. Weird thing to say, not like I am actually scared. This book got me up until 4 a.m. and I could not turn the lights off. I had to talk to a friend because I don't know, something about it. I don't think this is really all that different from other things, but something about it just got to me and I was so scared. It's about this cave diver, and instead of going on a team, which is usually what cave divers do, she's going in alone because in a very dangerous cave because she has a bigger cash prize and she needs the cash. And the only contact she has with somebody from above is this woman who she doesn't know much from and funding the whole project, and the woman is also alone. So they're both alone. One of them in the caves, and the only person she can talk to is the woman above. And they kind of hate each other at first, but it's like they're talking, but they're also like falling for each other. It is great, and it's also very creepy. If you like claustrophobic stuff, if you don't like it, stay away because she's like in deep caves. There's a map of the caves here. Like, this is literally down. It's not supposed to be turned. It's down. Look at how she has to go so deep, and it's so interesting, and I really liked it. I would really recommend it to you. I don't know, I can't say specifically if it's lesbian or bi rap, but I can say it is sapphic, and it's great. It's just great. The other horror book I'm going to recommend to you is fantasy horror, which is why it's in this SFF list. I'm not stupid. It's Sakyo Girls by Claire Legrand. This is a YA book about 3 girls in an island where other girls are being killed by the island's boogeyman. And it's very well written, so good. Simply, it was one of my favorite books last year. I tabbed it, a lot of tabs. And it has an element here that I love, which is a sentient place, which we get little chapters of the rock itself, the rock they're on, the island they're on. And it's just so good how it's all woven together, and it's not, I didn't think it was necessarily creepy because, as I said, it's not a thing I feel, but I really enjoyed this journey, and one of the characters is sapphic. I have to say I don't really remember which of the girls is sapphic, but I do remember that there is a sapphic character here, and there's also Val, which is the best character in the book, and she's amazing, and it's just perfect. I just really love this book, and if you're looking for a horror fantasy book, pick this one up. Now I'm moving into sci-fi, and the first book I'm going to talk about is A Memory Called Empire by Arcady Martini. This book was a contender for Goodreads Choice Awards last year. It was one of Amazon's best books of the year, and I'm in a Discord server that we do a book club every month, and this was one of the picks, so I picked it up last year. And not to say that I didn't like it, but I didn't love it either. I gave it like a solid 3.5 stars, but I really do think that it is a good book. It's more focused on the politics. It's a space opera, but not really a space opera because it's just focused in one place. It's all more politics. There's also a murder mystery, but it's not really a murder mystery in the way you would expect. Anyway, I'm sounding like I don't like this book. I do. I think it's really good. I just didn't love it, but for a few reasons. But our main character is Mahit. I think that's how you say her name. Mahit Zamare, and she goes to the heart of the empire, Memory Called Empire, because she's chosen to be the next ambassador for her people, and she finds out, and like the last one is dead, but like he might have been murdered, and it has some cool sci-fi things like implants of the previous ambassador, which you can like talk to them in your head. It's cool. There's also 3 Seagrass, which is like, I don't remember what she is. She's a diplomat, I think. The names are like that. 3 Seagrass, 19 Azalea. Those are the kind of names. And they have a really cute romance, and it's just really, really nice. The book is really nice. I was confused by the politics, a good chunk, but overall I think it's a really good book. A lot of other people think too, if it was on those best of lists. And yeah, if you like space opera sci-fi, recommend this one. Now, the other sci-fi book I'm gonna recommend was my favorite book of the year last year. It's one of my favorite books of all time. It's amazing, fantastic, wonderful, perfect, and it is Gideon the Ninth by Tim Muir. I've talked a lot about this book. I had a video of 5 reasons to read Gideon the Ninth, but I hated it, so I privated it because the video's like 5 reasons to read, and I don't give you one concrete reason. So I might redo that one in the future, but a lot of tabs. I've read this 3 times just last year. First time as an ARC, second time as a physical book, and third time as an audiobook. Second time I annotated it. It is perfect. Our main character, Gideon, she's a lesbian. The tagline of the book is Lesbian Necromancers in Space. My tagline is lesbian necromancers go to a haunted gothic palace in space, which is even cooler. And this book, man, this book, nobody's straight except for Babs. Fuck Babs. Anyway, this book is just, I literally cannot explain it. But what I can say is, Gideon's a lesbian. That's pretty clear. The first paragraph already mentions her dirty magazines, and she's a himbo, she has huge biceps, she can handle a big ass sword, and she uses humor to hide her feelings, which I know it's a lot of people love that trope. I do too. And she is the swordswoman slash bodyguard to the heir of her house planet, Harrowhark. And Harrow is, I picture her as 5 foot tall. Picture a tiny goth, like hardcore goth teenager who's angry at everything and also falls in love with every woman she sees. And they hate each other for valid reasons. And then it's not like, I'm not giving a spoiler, but I'm managing your expectations. It's not like in the end they're all lovey-dovey, oh, we love each other. It's way more complicated than that. It's way more nuanced, it's way more gritty, and their dynamic is one of the best I've ever read. I have like 5 posters over there on my wall. And man, I don't know what else to say about this. It's just like everybody's gay. You can ship anybody with anybody. It's so dramatic. It's peak Gen Z humor, or millennial humor. It's so funny. It's literally so funny. The characters are amazing, the world building's amazing, the world's amazing, the atmosphere is incredible. Okay, I love this book a lot. Can you tell? Also, pool scene. Okay, anyways, if you're looking for, I don't know, if you like that kind of humor, this book may be for you, because it's humorous, but it's also serious, and it's also amazing, and it's everything I've ever wanted. Next 2 books I'm going to talk about are fantasy books, and the first one is Never Night by J. Kristoff. I have an entire video on why Never Night is so polarizing, why so many people hate it, why I love it, and if you want to know more about this, or if you might like it or not, go check that out. But Never Night, everybody knows about this, and it's a revenge story about a school of assassins, this first book at least. The other books evolved beyond that. And it's about a school of assassins and this girl trying to take revenge. She's also a hardcore killer, but she has a heart, and it's just wonderful. She is bi. They don't have the word bi in this world, but you can like tell. This book is kind of graphic, so be aware of that. Everybody knows about this. And she eventually has a romance with another lady, which is amazing. An amazing relationship. And also, everybody who hates the girl because of what she's done. Have you even read the book? Like, people condemn the other girl for her actions, as if Mia hasn't done that to a lot of other people 1,000 other times. That's lazy morality to me. You can like not like her, that's with you, but to say that she's a bad person and Mia deserves better. Did you read it? Okay, anyways. This book is brutal. It's based on medieval Venice. It's quite gay. The series gets quite gay, and it's amazing. There's also gladiator fights in book 2, which is just fucking fantastic. And I love this series a lot. Like, really. If you're looking for, you don't necessarily know she's bi from the beginning, or about her romance from the beginning. Sorry, that there's like a butterfly in here. You don't necessarily see her attraction to women from the beginning, but you can definitely see her, understand it, and come to terms with it, and it's amazing, and it's brutal, and it's one of my favorite series of all time. The other fantasy book I'm going to talk about is Red Sister by Mark Lawrence, or the Book of the Ancestor trilogy. This series is also one of my favorite books of all time. Favorite series, not really book, but like the series of all time. And haha, the main character is bi. They don't use the word bi, but you can like tell because it's in text. This first book is heavily character driven. The others are more balanced, but this first book is heavily character driven. Is the biggest one of the lot. And if you're not really feeling it, take a little bit of your time, see if you connect with the characters, because the characters are some of my favorites of all time. I am so in love with them, and not just the main character, like most of the side characters are simply amazing. And also, I have to say, if you go into this expecting the romance to be a big part, or even a little part of the story, you'll be severely disappointed. There is hints of these 2 characters having a crush on each other, but it's not really a big part. It's always on the little glances, the little things they notice of each other. Nona spends like 2 paragraphs saying she was so beautiful with her hair, you know. And not to spoil anything, but you definitely get your payoff. This has a lot of LGBT characters, so even if you don't like the love interest or Nona, there's a lot more to choose from, and the series is simply incredible. It's so much more than romance and character. It's amazing world, amazing character, amazing world building. The magic is so cool, but what really makes this series for me is the characters. They have, these two characters I'm talking about, they have a really strong relationship throughout the whole series. There's a butterfly. But the romance is really not between the lines, but it's more subtle because they're children. This book starts off when they are 10 and ends when they are 18, so they're really grappling with that kind of feelings, coming to understand what it is to really fall in love. But the characters make the series, man, amazing, and I don't know what else I can talk about them. It has some of the most badass moments I've ever read. It's brutal, it's kind of grimdark. If you've read other stuff by Mark Lawrence, but you still haven't read Red Sister, I don't trust you. If it's not on the top of your TBR, why? It's incredible. And a very big fantasy YouTuber, Daniel Green, is in his top 5 favorite series. So like, if you don't take my word for it, go take the word from a guy who has like 150k subscribers. But this series, amazing, fantastic. I've reread it twice in the span of 6 months. Not this year, but like last year, in the span of 6 months, I read the entire series twice. And it's even better the second time, and it's fantastic. So yeah, these were the sapphic SFF recommendations I have for you. Let me know if you've read any of them, if you're gonna read any of them. If you're gonna read any, read Gideon the Ninth. It's underrated. It's in like the 9th printing or something, but not enough people talk about it in the circles I'm in. So if you're gonna read any of these, read Gideon the Ninth, and then come talk to me again, because like, you're gonna wanna scream. That's a guarantee. Yeah, so my name is Sophia, and I'll see you next time. Bye!